Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy.
Brian Kelly met with the media yesterday and said that in the next 48 hours, so that dates back to yesterday, we're already 20 plus into that, we'll find out who wears the number 18 for LSU this year. I would imagine that happens before close of business tomorrow would make sense. As we get ready to prep. I don't know if the LSU player who's been named number 18 knows, and I certainly don't. And look, number 18 is maybe not for everybody. It's not the most significant thing in the world to Joe fan. It's a big deal to those that wear the number. It's a big deal in that team room to have that honor bestowed upon you. It goes back 20 years now from Matt Malk wearing it through the 03 season, and Jacob picked it up and ran with it there for a national championship run in 07. And then since then, we've 18 guys wear that number. A couple of years have had two. Some guys have had to wear a patch because they couldn't wear it on the offensive line. And to some people, it's a really big deal. To some people, it's not. I'm not here to tell you that it's going to transform LSU's season, depending on if they go with a linebacker or a running back. But I think it's an interesting piece because I do think that recognizing achievement and honoring someone for the hard work that they've put in and the status they've garnered in that facility is a really important thing to those young people. And I'm curious how it's going to shake out over the next 24 hours now. I've got my thoughts, and I put this story up at LouisianaSports.net earlier today. I think it's down to 4 guys. And if I'm being frank, it's probably down to 3 in my eyes. Maybe I miss, but I feel pretty good about where I am. Here are the 4 that I listed on LouisianaSports.net. I started with Josh Williams. Josh Williams oozes 18 to me. This is a former walk-on who turned down multiple D1 scholarship offers to walk on at LSU. And since that time where he said, no, I'm not going to get my school paid for here, I'm going to go walk on and earn my spot here, he earned his way to the field on special teams. He earned his way to the field at running back. He became the starting running back, and he led LSU in rushing. He's run for over 1,000 yards in his career. He's run for 11 touchdowns. He was named LSU's Offensive Player of the Year a couple of years ago. That award's named for Percy E. Roberts. And that's all great stuff on the field, an incredible story on the field. But off the field, he's done a lot of this great stuff as well. He's been academic All-SEC 3 times. He's already got his bachelor's degree in marketing. He's got a master's degree in business. He was named to the National Honor Society. LSU has a gathering of student athletes who are about to graduate, and the eve of that graduation, they have someone give a keynote address, and Josh Williams gave that address. That's not something I was aware of until earlier yesterday. He checks every box that you would want to wear this number. He's been to SEC Media Days to represent LSU, did that last year. He's a good player. He's going to be out there to start the game against USC. I'm pretty confident. I think Josh Williams oozes number 18. The other offensive player that I tossed into this story, because I don't think it's that crazy, is Garrett Nussmeier. Keep in mind, let me run through the list of guys that have worn 18 since Matt Malk started this. Jacob Hester, running back. Richard Dixon, tight end. Richard Murphy, running back. Brandon Taylor, safety. Benny Logan, defensive tackle. Lamine Barrow, linebacker. Terrence McGee, running back. Tre'Davious White, cornerback. Christian Lockacher, defensive tackle. John David Moore, fullback / tight end. Foster Morrow, tight end. Caleb Chason, defensive end. Lloyd Cushenberry, center. Chris Curry, running back. Damone Clark, linebacker. B.J. Ojulari, edge rusher. Mekhi Wingo, defensive tackle. Not a single quarterback has been given this honor. Now, 2 guys have won the Heisman Trophy at quarterback in that time. It's not as if LSU hasn't had good quarterback play since 2004. But they haven't had the captain, the leader of the team, wear that number. And no, Garrett Nussmeier on the field has not necessarily earned that. He hasn't been the starting quarterback. But he's been in the program for 3 years. He's got a great relationship with the people in that locker room. He says all the right things in front of the media. He represented the team at SEC Media Days. And, you understand that he's in a tough spot, kind of trying to get out of the shadow of the reigning Heisman Trophy winner. And maybe you say, hey, we appreciate the way that you've taken the reins, and you're our guy. You're our 18. Like, that wouldn't completely stun me. I'm kind of excited for the first time an LSU quarterback wears 18. It's just something we have not seen. We've seen it everywhere else on the field. No quarterbacks. Garrett Nussmeier, I think, in the mix. You look at other options on the offensive side of the ball. Will Campbell's already wearing 7. He's not going to get that patch. Mason Taylor certainly would be an option. Emory Jones about to be a 3-year starter. Kyron Lacey's emerging as the number 1 wide receiver. Chris Hilton's been here a really long time. Like, there are guys, but I think on the offense, Josh Williams and Garrett Nussmeier, to me, make the most sense. And you go to the defensive side of the football. I'll start with Greg Penn. Greg Penn came here to LSU, and his first season, LSU went through a coaching change. And since that time, which was a low point for the program to have a coach fired, go to the bowl game the way you did and see 38 scholarship players, the offense recovered from that. 2 years later, they're the best offense in the country. Defense still going through some dark days. And Greg Penn could have said, that's enough. I'm going to head somewhere else. I'm not from Louisiana. My memories here are not all that great. I came after the national championship, seen really poor play, both sides of the ball. I'm gonna head out and finish my career somewhere else. He didn't do that. Instead, actually, this past year, the worst statistical defense in LSU history, he won an award called the Make It Happen Award at the ReliaQuest Bowl for leadership. How easy would it have been for a defensive player last December to check out and be like, Jaden's not playing in this bowl game. Malik's not playing in this bowl game for much. Like, that's enough. We were terrible this year. No, he went to work. He got better. And I think Greg Penn, who's started 27 in the last 28 games for LSU, is a leadership voice in that room. Now, full disclosure, and I'm never afraid to admit a mistake. When I wrote this story for LouisianaSports.net, I thought it made a lot of sense for Greg Penn to wear the number 18. It was immediately pointed out to me, something I already knew, but in the course of writing it, it just didn't dawn on me. Greg Penn has switched to number 3, not because he thinks the number 3 looks cool, because Greg Brooks wore number 3, and he asked if he could wear that number out of respect for Greg Brooks. So to me, it's unlikely that Greg Penn would switch to number 18 and leave the number 3. Full disclosure, in the course of writing this story over 2 hours this morning, I just didn't come up with that. I've been to practice. I've seen Greg Penn wearing 3. I knew this whole story, and I just didn't put it together. I was just purely looking at kind of leadership guys. So that's why I thought he made a lot of sense. I don't think it'll be him. So that's why at the top of this segment I said, I have 4 guys. I think it's really down to 3. And the last is Jacobian Guillory. I have said this a bunch of times if you've been listening to our show over the last 3 weeks, really month. Outside of maybe Kyron Lacey, Jacobian Guillory has had the best fall camp relative to expectation. I've been really impressed with the work Guillory has put in, with the production he's had, the reps he's taken in one-on-ones and in 11-on-11s. I think he's been fantastic. And this is a guy who is filling in as a starter for 3 guys who moved on to the NFL and is manning the position that is most maligned from the outside about this LSU football team. Brian Kelly literally went to the media and said, yeah, we're looking for defensive tackle help, and it's not going great. It was outward and expressed that LSU did not feel like their defensive tackle spot was solidified enough exiting the spring. They said it. And Jacobian Guillory is the face of that position group. What a message it would send to look at Jacobian Guillory and say, hey, this is some of the stuff that we said. We understand the situation that we're in, but you're our leader, and we trust you at this spot. Jacobian Guillory is a 4th-year player. He's kind of been in the background for 3 years, but never left. He said earlier this year when he met the media, his dream growing up was to play for LSU. Why would he give away an opportunity to do that with 1 more year of eligibility? That's why he's back. And I think there's a real good chance that he could get that number. So you look at the options that I've laid out here: Josh Williams, Garrett Nussmeier, Greg Penn, and Jacobian Guillory. I'm going to take Greg Penn out there. I gave you some options on the offensive side that I thought maybe could warrant it. I could see Major Burns, who's been here a long time, looking at that. Sage Ryan's been at LSU a long time. Harold Perkins is the most talented player on that defense. Like, I could see some of those guys warranting that number, but I'll call my shot here. From the options I've laid out between Williams, Nussmeier, and Guillory, I believe number 18 will be Jacobian Guillory this year. That is my prediction as I sit here today. As I tweeted out in response to the LouisianaSports.net tweet that had the story attached, I said, man, there's some other options here. I'm going to feel real dumb if I lay out 4 and I don't even mention the guy who actually gets 18. But I'm open. I'm exposing myself to that, and we'll see what happens before really the close of business tomorrow as we find out who will be number 18 this year. That may mean a ton to you. It may not mean a lot, but I think it means a lot to the guy who will get it. And in my opinion, my guess is Jacobian Guillory will be the next 18 here at LSU. We'll just have to see. If you're looking for LSU sports videos on YouTube, Hunt on LSU is where you can always find them. If you subscribe to the channel, all our LSU football content will just feed right into your homepage. Makes it real quick, easily digestible. Appreciate Cassie, Jesse, and the whole video team for getting that done each and every day.
Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.